Just a few years ago, no one knew his name, just another kid on the internet. Now you can catch him in the rooms with designers and innovators of the culture, modeling for some of the biggest brands in the world and building a presence that stretches far beyond music. How did a SoundCloud rapper go from making songs on his phone to doing runway shows for big designer brands? This is the rise of Nettspend. Nettspend didn't come in polished, he came in raw, like most SoundCloud artists do. Early on, Nettspend's sound lived in a chaotic underground space. Rough jerk-inspired beats, uncleared samples, and an effortless, nonchalant flow that matched his low-budget trillers and style on Instagram. At the time, the underground scene was shifting. It had been a few years since it truly felt alive. There were names making noise, but Nettspend felt different. It felt instinctual, unfiltered, almost like he wasn't trying to fit into a scene. Coming from Richmond, Virginia, that separation was even more obvious. Without a major local scene like New York or Los Angeles, building momentum wasn't the easiest. But early in Nett's career, he connected with someone that helped him shape that direction, Nick Zero. In many ways, Zero functioned like a creative director during Nettspend's early rise, helping guide his sound, image, and connections.
And then we kind of linked up. He showed me how to use FL, but I was stubborn and I didn't want to use it, so I did BandLab. And then we just we're on Discord, and we put me on to a lot of people that in the scene, in 2020, early 23, late
23, 22.
Yeah.
Through those early lengths, Nettspend began tapping into a wider underground network, connecting with artists like Xavier Sobase and members of the emerging collective 1C, also known as One Chance.
Bitch, I'm top one, fucking top two. Hit me up if you got no one to talk to. Just had another fan hug, give me top two. If you walk in looking flashy, I'ma rob you. If you walk in looking flashy.
Around this time, clips of Nettspend promoting his music began circulating heavily on Twitter.
Because he took this to the end. Bitch, I'm bust on my peppers because I make more than they spend. I told Zoo to roll it blend.
But the reaction was not immediate praise. To a lot of people seeing it for the first time, it looked strange. His energy, his delivery, and his presence. He was often labeled as a joke by outsiders who didn't understand the sound or the aesthetic. But in the internet era of misunderstanding, that can be the first stage of attention. Because while some people laughed, others kept watching. As his name started spreading, Nettspend began taking things more seriously. Early performances started rolling in, more producers started reaching out, and the underground perception of him slowly shifted from internet experiment to rising artist. This is when he linked with producers like We Gon' Be Okay, leading to the creation of the song Nothing Like You. And for many people watching closely, this was the turning point. The same audience that doubted him started paying attention. They started defending him. They started amplifying him. And from there, momentum became undeniable. The track began circling heavily on TikTok, pushing him deeper into the algorithm and wider into internet culture. That momentum opened doors fast. Connections around Chief Keef and Playboi Carti, like John Ross and Joy Division, started to come around in the orbit. As his visibility grew, so did the seriousness of the attention around him. Soon, Nettspend was no longer just an underground name. He was becoming part of a new generation of internet-born artists being tracked in real time. Then became the Mech Shift, BAFK, a release that didn't introduce him, but expanded him. At that point, Nettspend already had all the momentum. He already had an audience, but this album reinforced his position in the underground and pushed him further into cultural visibility. What changed after BAFK wasn't just numbers, it was perception. Every snippet, every repost, every performance, every week, it all started carrying weight.
I'm tired of driving. I'm fucking styling. You need to dial it down. Yeah, my mama know that I'm on dollar. You got my eye rolling behind my eyelids. I get so rich, I might just cover eyelids.
And as his music presence stabilized, something else happened. He slowed down, not because the momentum stopped, but because he was entering a different phase. At this point, Nettspend wasn't just building attention anymore. He already had it, so the focus began shifting beyond music. He became a type of artist that fashion started paying attention to, not because he followed trends, but because he was becoming one.
How are you? Being here? Were you at the show? Yeah. Okay.
The influence comes from the internet itself, from how people react, from how they move across platforms, from how quickly their identity spreads. By the end of 2025, Nettspend sat in a very specific position. Not underground, not fully mainstream, but something in between, where influence is the currency. At this stage, identity becomes just as important as the music. That's where a concept like Early Life Crisis fits. Not just an album, but as a statement. Fast attention, fast growth, and fast judgment, all while still figuring out who you are. So an era like Early Life Crisis represents more than sound, it represents a mindset shift, a move towards more structured releases, more intentional direction, stronger visual identity, and collaborations that expand beyond the underground entirely. Now we're at the point of 2026, where Early Life Crisis is now released, and yeah, it's one of the biggest collaborations yet, putting him next to a mainstream superstar, NBA Youngboy. This wasn't just a feature, it felt like a cosign from a top-tier artist. As of 2026, Nettspend is 19 years old. With this much influence on the culture, who knows where he could go next? And that's the story as of now. Definitely unfinished. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned, because there's always more beneath the surface.